Chartreuse area. Chartreuse area is in the southeast of France, close to Lyon, down to the Alps. And this guy went to Grenoble and he asked a piece of land to the bishop of Grenoble, Saint-Hughes. So he went to the mountains with 6 companions and went to the mountain of Chartreuse to find a place to devote their life to prayer and solitude. And thus started the story of the Carthusian monks. Carthusians means Cartura in Latin, in Spanish. It means Chartreuse. So they took the name from the mountains and became Carthusians. So through the years, they developed the order in France, in Europe, in Spain, in everywhere, in Italy, Switzerland, Germany, and developed the order of the Carthusian monks. Through the years, they studied the botanicals, remedies about the herbs, plants and flowers in the mountains. That's why probably in 1605, the Maréchal d'Estrée, which is a cousin of Henri IV, gave to the monks in Paris a manuscript of the list of 130 herbs. Why he gave this manuscript, this is a secret manuscript to the monks? Because at that time, the monks were considered as the best alchemists ever we can find, and they had control of and knowledge and research on the distilling process. As you may know, the distilling process comes from the Arabs and many centuries before Christ, and developed the knowledge and the research on the process of distilling things, especially cereals or fruits. And Arnaud de Villeneuve, which was a very close, like a medicine person, doctor, was a doctor. He was looking after Pope at that time. Just keep the research going and the distilling process. And he gave all the work to the monks. That's why in 1605 they received this manuscript of the elixir of long life. And it was a list of what you can find the best ever at that time. The routes of the spice were open to India, to America, and was the best thing you can concentrate on one formula. So the Father Jérôme Beaubec started to study this manuscript from 1605 and for many years. And he came out with elixir of long life, which is elixir végétal, which is the oldest product made by the monks. We consider today as a medicinal purpose, cordial. This is the essence of Chartreuse liqueur. 142 proof. Took a few drops. We still produce this product today in France. Unfortunately, it's not possible to have this product in the US. I know some bartenders get a chance to have some channel to get the product. And this is a very, very important product, especially for us in Chartreuse in Europe. We're still using a lot this elixir végétal as a medicine purpose to help digestion, to help you to give more strength, and what's the essence of the liqueur Chartreuse. So it's many years after developed the green Chartreuse. We will have a taste today, and the yellow Chartreuse. So the green Chartreuse is 110 proof, very complex liqueur, very intense, strong, very unique flavor. I know bartenders like to play with the flavor of Chartreuse, very interesting to blend with neutral base and all the things. You can play well a lot of cocktail with green Chartreuse. And yellow is a 40% smooth, sweeter. You can feel more the spices and sweetness of the yellow Chartreuse. I got a chance today to test the VEP. VEP is very old Chartreuse, stands for very old aging process. Vieillissement exceptionnellement prolongé, aged over 15 years. We're back to Chartreuse now, to the distilling process. You have to consider Chartreuse is the oldest liqueur in the world, since 1605. Natural, no additives, no coloring going into Chartreuse liqueur, which is a very important point. They still do the Chartreuse liqueur, the monks, is made by monks, still today. It's the same way they were producing Chartreuse in 1605. There's more than 400 years of history behind this liqueur, very important. And they use the same herbs, same process, same blending, same operation all the time. So they do today, they receive the herbs in the monasteries. There is a special room to receive the herbs, do the blending in the rooms. These are dry herbs, and do put that in the bags. Bags got the numbers. The bags go in a truck from the monastery, which is in the heart of Chartreuse Mountains, in 1,200 meters. Drive down to the distillery in town where we have the office today, Chartreuse Diffusion, and start the process of maceration of the herbs macerated in alcohol, 96%. The Chartreuse monks need at least 20 days to produce 40,000 liters of Chartreuse. So it's a long process to obtain Chartreuse. By the time they start the first maceration and the last concoction to get the color. So after the few maceration, we know there is a group of herbs go in maceration process. Some of them are directly distilled. And Chartreuse grain, for example, got like 5 different maceration and 4 time distilled. And there was a final concoction of a selection of plants, herbs and flowers to give a color of Chartreuse grain. The monks, the Chartreuse monks, are the only one in the world to produce a green liqueur natural after distillation, which is very important. After the last concoction, there is a process of aging process. Go in the aging storage cellars, and the storage cellar is a big room where we have vats of 50,000 liters each. We got like 20 vats, huge vats, oak, Russian oak, or oak from Allier. The liqueur needs a strong wood to keep the long aging process. So stay in this storage cellar for a few months, and after goes in aging cellars. Aging cellars, the Chartreuse green and yellow, aged 3 to 5 years, you have oak vats of 10,000 liters. We have today the largest liqueur cellars in the world, with 164 meters long, and we have over 3 million liters of liqueur aging today in these cellars. So only the small difference on the yellow probably is, obviously, is the proportion of herbs they use, different. They use on the fourth distillation, they had honey distilled in the fourth distillation, and finally the last concoction, they used a proportion of spices which is different to give that color yellow, the smoothness, more sweeter, and very enjoyable as a drink, as a liqueur, as a digestif, on the rocks, or even in cocktails. The other version we have here, it's the VEP. VEP, very small production every year. So 30,000 bottles of green, 30,000 bottles of yellow for the world market. So it's very, very, very small amount of this liqueur. It's the same process of elaboration of the yellow and green Chartreuse, except the percentage of alcohol, and green is 108 proof, and on the yellow is 84. Aged longer in the smaller vats, means longer, like 10 to 15 years in the vats we call demi-muit, which is vats of oak vats of 500 liters. And pretty much with Wildman we are collaborating since 20 years now. With Wildman we are doing a great job in terms of distribution and penetration of the market, especially with the VEP. We select the places where we want to go, fine restaurants, fine bars, food specialty stores. It's a very unique product, very unique. You may know this product, and you can compare when you do a tasting, for example, with a very important product like Cognac, Armagnac, Eau de Vie, vintage Eau de Vie. You can make the test to have the comparison with a VEP Chartreuse, and you'll be amazed by the flavor, the explosion of flavor of Chartreuse, obviously. Chartreuse has the particularity of improving the aging, even in the bottle. So it means you buy a Chartreuse today, you taste it today, it's got the flavor, color, fantastic. You will taste it in 6 months from now, it will improve already. That's the very important thing about the Chartreuse liqueur. Even when you make cocktails, you can feel the difference from one bottle to the other. And